This is a dangerous system. Damaging winds, heavy rainfall, storm surge, rough seas, mudslides, and flash flooding are all possible risks. Anggrek is located 2,093 kilometers southeast of Diego Garcia, and has moved west-southwestward at 17 kilometers per hour, 9 knots, over the past 6 hours. Anggrek is forecast to continue on a southwestward track over the next 36 hours, before turning onto a more west-southwestward track over the next 3 days. Categorization estimates forecasts are provided by JTWC. Wind speeds and categorizations may be different from those provided by local meteorological agencies. From the next 3 days through the end of the forecast period, the system is expected to curve to the south-southwest as it rounds the subtropical ridge axis. The intensity of Anggrek is expected to increase steadily to 195 km per hour, 105 knots, over the next 3 days as wind shear is expected to remain low, 5 to 10 knots, and sea surface temperatures will be favorable, 27, 28 C, and upper-level outflow conditions improve slightly. After 4 days, the system will begin to weaken as shear picks up slightly, 10 to 15 knots, and dry mid-level air intrudes from the north and west. In 5 days, Anggrek is anticipated to have a more rapid drop in intensity as shear is expected to increase significantly to approximately 35 km per hour, 20 knots, and decapitate the storm's vortex at the mid-levels. Coupled with dry air entrainment, the storm is forecast to decrease to 150 km per hour, 80 knots, by the end of the forecast period. Deterministic models are in general agreement that Anggrek will transit southwest over the next 36 hours with a crosstrack deviation of only 130 km beyond 36 hours. The system opens approximately 300 nautical miles, showing JTWC consensus disagreement on how starkly the storm will cut to the west as influenced by the subtropical ridge to the south. The crosstrack deviation will open to 870 km by the end of the forecast period, as ECMF anticipates the ridge influencing a more southerly track, while GFS expects a more southwesterly track. The intensity guidance is in general agreement that the system will peak at 3 days and gradually decline towards the end of the forecast period. However, the intensity of that peak varies greatly due to the small size of the system. The COAMSTC, NavGem version, forecasts an unreasonable 250 km per hour, 135 knots, at its maximum, while JTWC Ships Guidance expects a peak of 175 km per hour, 95 knots. Maximum significant wave height is 9.1 meters, 30 feet.